Yo, lifted veil back once again. I've been covering a lot of indigenous history lately, but I figured I'd take a break and chime in on this Carmelo Anthony case, which is really peculiar. I don't even know if that's. I think that's being a little bit too nice about it. There's something very fishy going on in Collin County, um, and so I'm gonna chime in on it. It seems like Carmelo Anthony cannot catch a break. Um, he was recently sentenced to, I believe it was either 32 or 35 years. Um, and it seems as though witnesses changed their stance. And it's really no seems. I remember blatantly what the witnesses said in the beginning, and they have definitely changed their stance. But I'm going to let the family speak on that. And also, Dan Calloway came through with other witness testimonies in terms of what they saw from the footage, and it is very different than what the mainstream media is perpetuating. I'll say that much. But I want to play two clips. What Dane had, he had several individuals. I think he had about three people speaking on the original footage um, of the circumstances surrounding the incident. And like I said, their stories are very different, but I'm going to play just one, probably just one. I might play the whole thing. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But I definitely want to play one of them because I felt that gentleman did a thorough job of explaining what went on to give us an idea of what Carmelo Anthony was going through and experiencing. As well as the witnesses changing their stories, there was certain circumstantial evidence that wasn't allowed to be admitted into court that could have diminished um, Austin Hunter's character, like the fact that he had recently been suspended, I believe, for bullying females. You know what I mean? And apparently he had a nice little reputation for bullying and beating up on people. And so I think when you hear how these witnesses describe what led up into the event, it just seems like Carmelo couldn't catch a break. It seems like a lot of people just stood around and allowed this to happen and escalate, and now Carmelo Anthony is being what I feel is wrongfully punished for this. But I'm gonna break it down as we go, and I'm gonna start off with the parents' interview. So let's rock.
We were delusional. We thought we was going to get a fair shake.
They claimed there were inconsistencies from the get-go, despite witnesses who took an oath vowing to tell the truth.
Everyone actually lied on the stand.
Everyone.
All of the witnesses' statements were inconsistent. All of them.
His father says the court of public opinion had made up their mind about his son long before the trial began.
He was convicted when he walked out of the jail. If you looked at the news, all that shit, he was already convicted. If you look at it, it was already done. It was no innocent until proven guilty. He was already guilty.
He says the threats of violence against them continue.
People want us dead. That's what.
After they still got what they want.
After they still got what they want, they still want us dead. You see, I go look at my phone, people want us dead. They want our family dead.
And now they're preparing to appeal.
They did a number on us.
A judicial process they believe wronged them.
We didn't get justice. A lot of things that were missed that should have been handled a certain way. However, we couldn't say anything. We did what was instructed. We was told.
Sure, I got this part here.
I know that. I mean, really wasn't much.
Fighting back emotions and tears as they described what they believe was a flawed trial.
We were delusional. We thought we was going to get a fair shake.
They claimed there were inconsistencies from the get-go, despite witnesses who took an oath vowing to tell the truth.
Everyone actually lied on the stand.
Everyone.
All of the witnesses' statements were inconsistent. All of them.
His father says the court of...
It definitely was totally different from what the witnesses first said. What I'm going to get to now is what these witnesses said, what Dane Calloway showed. of these witnesses here. Give me a second to bring this up. Let's get Dane on the screen here, man. Shout out to Dane Calloway for putting that up for us, man. Yeah, this is it right here. We'll fast forward a little.
20 hours back every week just by delegating boring tasks. Want to know who really runs my 40-person company? It's not me, it's this person.
Where Austin was, but he never touched him. So all that stuff about him rendering aid.
So this is the gentleman right here, man, and y'all listen very close to what he's saying, man. And like I said, Dane was the first person I saw air this, so shout out to him. I know Willie D's been covering this as well. He's been going hard for Karmelo, man. And I know, people who support the mainstream are like, how could you support this murderer and everything like that? And just hold tight, man. It's not what it seems, and we shouldn't have to keep explaining how these individuals, in particular, Black men and Black women, just Black people in general, how they're getting railroaded by these systems. But he's going to explain it, man. So y'all listen carefully, man, because it's not what the mainstream media is trying to make it out to seem. And I'm just trying to do my part in supporting Karmelo Anthony and his family to get this news out that's not being circulated. But here we go. Make sure I start from the beginning with this gentleman here. Right there.
Are you able to elaborate on it?
Yeah,
As much. Oh, well, come on then. Okay, so can you tell the viewers that you seen the video with your own 2 eyes? Was it clear enough, or was it fuzzy, or what?
No, it was clear. It was clear
So why
enough.
some of these people saying the video not clear?
I'll speak to it this way. The video is clear enough because they did edit the video, and I know people don't like to hear that, but they did, so it can be in a 11-minute block.
Right.
Because there's several video footage from different cameras.
Okay.
And so instead of bringing somebody in to watch all that boring footage, they just basically condensed it to 11 minutes.
Okay.
And so on that, they did cut the angle a little bit so you can protect some of the kids or whatever.
Right.
You can still see clearly.
Okay.
And it's clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the cameras.
Okay.
That's how clear it is.
Okay.
So just check that. So if you ever been to Cockendall Stadium, on the home side, that's where those 3 cameras are sitting.
Right.
One here at the 40, one at the 50, that's the motion camera. Then you have the other one right here.
Right.
But they also have security cameras too.
Okay.
Either end on both sides.
Okay.
And I think they have a couple more cameras somewhere.
Okay.
But those cameras, the one that they're showing is the one that's right to the right side of the 50-yard.
Right.
So it's directly showing where Karmelo and them were.
Okay.
So you actually see them walking up. You see that Karmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain, or
Yeah, it was still right.
Right.
I'm from Louisville. So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
We were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining again. Then it was over with for the day.
Okay.
So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already, and so during that time when that happened, the twins, their 2 buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them, they were all coming from the direction of the middle school.
Right.
You hear that? They. But let's keep going. He's gonna further elaborate on what they did.
And walking back up.
Right.
On the video, you can see those 4 that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract him a little bit, and then
Kind of distract the coach, huh? And they're saying that Karmelo Anthony was the one who had premeditated ideas. But let's rock.
the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past.
Right.
The other 4 went and they surrounded Karmelo. If you're Karmelo,
And they showed it on that video.
it's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see them walk.
I'm gonna say little stuff.
So that's
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those 4. Here they're 4 right there coming up.
Right.
That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and this immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause, then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push. It was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
So it's more than the twins that got some licks on. So it showed that in the video.
Yeah.
Never knew that. And the mainstream media never told that scenario or story or those circumstances. You know, they made it, they did the best they could to perpetuate Karmelo Anthony as some person who was looking for trouble underneath this tent, like he was, causing some type of ruckus. He refused to leave. He was stubborn. And when he was asked to leave or, tried to be forced to leave verbally, they said that he reached into his belongings, making threats like, go ahead and touch me and I'll do A, B, and C. But as this gentleman continues, you're going to hear a totally different story. Listen closely.
In the video. So again, you have Hunter and Austin standing in the middle.
Okay.
And you have the light bright boy here and you have the darker boy here.
Okay.
I think that's what I remember.
So light skin,
but that's where they were.
Black
One was
people?
going up and down while they were talking.
light skin and dark skin black
Pushing,
person
whatever he was doing.
with Austin and Hunter.
Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag.
Right.
And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag.
Okay.
Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonizing. And we know under Texas law, I just have the fear that you're about to do something to me and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so you ain't have to touch me. But at that point, he still stood there and stopped there. And whatever they say alleged was said, you don't know that until they get to it here. But once they did that, they started hitting him. Karmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually trying to get away the first time. Austin grabbed him.
You see that? Trying to get away the first time. These are details that we didn't hear. I'm gonna back it up a little bit because I didn't mean to pause it in the middle of what he's getting to. So let me back it up a little bit.
Did that, they started hitting him. Karmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually trying to get away the first time. Austin grabbed him, and you can see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in.
Okay.
And when
That lady said the same thing.
Austin put him in a headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming because they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this way to the left. He went down. He fell. And that's when they realized he was gone. So they were still punching. And
Look, they were so incensed with violence, they didn't even realize that Karmelo had slipped out. These fools were punching on each other while Karmelo Anthony had already ran out the tent and probably what it sounds like had already, pulled the blade out of his bag to defend himself at this point, because just like you've heard, he tried to get away first. He was unsuccessful. They pulled him back in to the physical assault, not altercation. It was assault. They were jumping this kid. Pulls him back in. And it sounds like at this point, Karmelo Anthony felt like he was forced to even the odds by pulling the blade out. He probably swung it. I'm not going to say that he didn't have the intent to use it, but, it sounds like he was truly trying to defend himself, man. You know what I mean? He tried to get away. That meets all the criteria for self-defense. At bare minimum, it can't be murder. At the maximum, at this point, it can only be manslaughter. You know what I'm saying? Because murder has to have a premeditated intent. You know what I'm saying? He didn't start the altercation. He was trying to get away. So anyway, let's continue.
He fell. That's when they all turned around. They started chasing him. Austin.
They didn't stop punching. They were continuously punching as he left out. And this was on cell phone camera as well. So they were continuously punching somebody. Did they mistakenly do something to Austin at the same time? And they thought they were hitting Karmelo and Karmelo had got up out of there? Interesting. There needs to be a campaign where this video needs to become public information. The video that they saw needs to be made public information immediately.
Him too, but he grabbed his chest. I guess he realized that something happened to him, and that's when he went down a little bit and he fell down. But all three of them were chasing. But Karmelo was so fast, he got away and went around to the coach. And so you can see them on the video pointing toward Karmelo and the coach. And I can imagine, because Karmelo's out of the camera on that moment, that he was telling the coach what happened. And then that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around. That's a true statement. He just wasn't sitting with it. He whipped his head around. You see him on the video. And that's when he walked over to where Austin was, but he never touched him. So all that stuff about him rendering aid and holding his heart and not.
Right. That was something else that mainstream media was trying to spread and pass around to trump up sympathy for the Metcalf family. I'm not saying anybody deserves to die. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody came out with that intent, like somebody wanted to kill somebody. And, but what I can say about the Metcalf's history is they often left their home with the intent to harm. Obviously, Austin Metcalf had just served a suspension for bullying like I said, if I remember correctly, a female. But even if it wasn't a female, he was bullying somebody and got suspended for him. That is his history. That's what they do. That's what they were doing. And that's what they were currently doing or attempting to do. Well, it wasn't an attempt. They assaulted Karmelo Anthony. And it just seems like, a bunch of cornball bullies that remind me of, the movies back in the 90s and 80s where you got these cliques going around bullying people at school, except this ain't no script. This wasn't no movie. And it didn't turn out like it did in the movies. It became fatal. But anyway, let's go.
He never did that because the coach grabbed him and he was holding him. So at the end of the day,
I know that to be true because I saw that video myself. I pulled that up to check behind him to see what he was talking about as far as Hunter's story. Hunter completely forgot that he was on camera. I guess because it was so brand new, he wasn't well versed on how he should say certain things, on how he should be presenting facts to these reporters. I'm going to play that here in a second. Let me finish this one.
Kind of where the moment went. But they did assault him. And we'll just play the game. Even if it was just a push, you still assaulted him because it was unwanted. By your own definition and your word of him saying that leave me alone and I'm not going, you assaulted him, period. But they did beat him. And if you look at the, not the photo that Fox 4 put out, because that was one that they actually edited. I have the emails to prove it. But the actual Collin County one, you can see the webs and stuff on his eye. You can see the bridge of his nose is swollen. You can see the webs under his neck. And so that's the reason why.
Very important details. All of that stuff nobody saw. So this is a county level lynching we got going on, with this Karmelo Anthony situation with this young man, and I'm glad Dane brought this to the light and covered this for everybody, man, to see. But this is a tragedy right here, hopefully they can fight this. But like I said, they got to get it out of the county.
They edited the one from Fox and kind of airbrushed it. And you can see they put the locks of his hair that got taken out as well.
Oh, okay. I need to get that.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
because there's a lot of people on this live. And,
Send me your email.
Shoot, I'm gonna have to contact the old boy, man. I'm try to find out how to get his contact information, man. We need that type of details, man. That needs to be spread all across social media, man, so people can know. Because they're telling the Collin County is trying to perpetuate a totally different story, man. And they can't be allowed to get away with it, man. We can't force their judicial system to do the right thing, but we can pressure them, though, for sure, man. We can get active on this internet, man. And, start spreading that real news, man. And I'm going to do my part, and set it off for myself right here. But let him continue and let this man finish.
I will.
I'm saying to you, I've been doing this thing since last year.
Now.
Yeah.
I listen to, a lot of people don't know, I listen to everything. And I heard something. You said from 4 people, a light bright and a dark.
Yes, sir.
What you mean by that? Light white or dark white?
One mix, one night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a black dude over there with them.
Yeah, 2.
Two black boys.
It was a brother.
Yeah, and I think
so it was a school thing.
I think one more supposed to be there, but he was suspended.
but it was like a smooth thing.
Man, it just keeps going. It just keeps getting worse and worse, man. One of the kids is beating on Karmelo. He suspended and he was supposed to be there, man. What's really going on? And then they probably didn't, mainstream media probably didn't mention anything about some of these boys being of the same race because they purposely probably wanted to drive that racial sentiment, man, and get the emotions involved on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So they made sure that they didn't include that. Anyway, let's go.
It was. I'm gonna just say this. Let me just be real. It was more than just a school thing. It was a I don't like you thing.
Right. Okay.
One of them ran track with him, so he definitely liked him because they were beating each other, whatever. But another one actually knew of him.
Okay.
And he just happened to go to a memorial and be friends with the twins and all that.
Hold up.
The twins.
And that's the one that wasn't able to make it.
Right.
And be friends with the twins and all that. I don't like you thing.
Right. Okay.
One of them ran track with him, so he definitely liked him because they were beating each other, whatever. But another one actually knew of him.
Okay.
And he just happened to go to a memorial and be friends with the twins and all that.
Hold up.
The twins.
And that's the one that wasn't able to make it.
Right.
Yeah, because he made sure he told me I wasn't even there.
Hold up. Now, with that being said, that means that it's more to this. Okay, so not just Hunter and his brother Austin. It's not just that. Now you will have to begin to question the two accomplices who just so happen to be so-called black. They need to be interviewed. I don't know if those two boys were questioned by police. I don't know if they were a part of the investigation. These are questions that need to be answered because what they're trying to do online, as far as the news media is concerned, they're trying to cause a civil uprising or uproar or civil unrest. That needs to stop. They're trying to get everybody riled up. Again, that's why I feel as though it's both of them, Democrats and Republicans, trying to stir the pot. This is the perfect time because they're going to need, some story to fall back on to get the people riled up, make the black Americans feel like they're not safe, and whoever gives them the safety, they're going to run to and give them their vote. Like this is a problem, ladies and gentlemen. This is a problem. I want people to understand that there's more to it than what we are being told and what we are seeing. I believe a political tug and pull is at play here. They're trying to manipulate the masses and distract them. Again, this case is 1 year old. Then all of a sudden, it goes popular. It goes viral a week ago. And let's be real here, that still is an all-white jury. Hispanics are considered white. Asians are considered white. They're labeled white by the U.S. Census. So that was an all-white jury. So no matter how you try to swing it, technically by record, they're considered white over here by the U.S. Census. There's a lot of holes in this story. So I'll keep my eye on things to see if anything else pops up. I would love to hear from you because this is a very serious matter, and I hope it doesn't distract any of you guys from what your mission is. Don't fall for it. I know there's going to be a lot of attacks online to our people as far as so-called black Americans from all sorts of races because of this, but just staying firm, and we all want to know the truth because the truth wasn't being told, and we all know that to be true. So I'm Dane Calloway, and I'm just here to make you think.
Appreciate it, Dane. That's where I'm gonna wrap it up at. And then, at the end of the day, it might sound insensitive, but it is what it is. A group of bullies were running around looking for trouble, and they found it, and it ended fatal for one of them, and that's just it. Bottom line. It's nothing more complicated than that. You keep your hands to yourself. None of this happens. Austin Metcalf is still alive. Karmelo Anthony isn't fighting for his life legally, and everybody's happy. Both families are happy. Everybody living their life. Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf is probably, living their life in their first year of college, and everything is good. But when you go around looking for trouble, complications like this happen. So everybody just keep their hands to themselves, man. That's it. Peace.